Hey, what's up guys, I'm Naskampla here, bringing you with a deck profile on the latest Legend World Hero sword deck which you can build from the latest set Rainbow Striker. So this deck allows you to equip as many weapons as you like on your field. So yeah, this is the deck, Leviathan. So Leviathan is a card that allows you to equip as many number of items on your field, but you cannot call any monsters, which is why the only monsters I play in the deck is these two. So yeah, let's go on the deck profile. So for the body I run is Immortal Sword of the King, Durandal. Wow, look at the SP art, so cool. So this card can be your body, that's why I'm running him. So equip cost, pay 1 gauge, pay 1 life. Counter Hand of the King. If you have an item with Sword of the King in its card name on your field equipped, equip this card from your hand by paying its core cost. So it's sort of like equipment change, and all heroes on your field cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So yeah, he's a really solid card. That's why I run him as the body. If I had an extra copy of Leviathan, I'll definitely run it over him, but since I do not have it, I'll run him. So yeah. So for the boss swords of the deck I run is 4 Demonic Descent Sword of the King, Leviathan. So it can also be your body. He has a 10-2 stats. Equip cost, pay 2 gauge when you have no monsters on your field. This card on the field cannot be destroyed. You cannot call monsters on the field, and you may equip as many weapons on your field. So it's an all-out rush deck. So all items in your hand gets additional equip cost, pay 1 gauge, which kind of makes it not that broken, because some of the swords right here do not require gauge, and that will make it too broken. Yakusatsu Overkill, pay 1 gauge, discard a card from your hand during your turn and pay 1 gauge. Put the top 5 cards of your deck into your drop zone and equip up to 3 items from among them without paying their equip cost. So a very good situation of Overkill you like is 3 Excalibur, but yeah, that's really hard. But with the latest set from the new booster, I don't know what it's called, there will be new Hero World, Legend World cards, and I'll be putting them into this deck and making a deck profile for you guys. So yeah, I run 4 of him. So this deck, once you overkill, is risk it or biscuit. I don't know what I'm saying. So I run 4 because you want to see it almost every game. So yeah. Next off, I run 4 Sword of the King's Seaboard Subcross. So basically, when you equip this card, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, look for your deck for a Sword of the King, which is like every card right here, from your name, and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. So I run 4 of him because yeah, you want to see Leviathan as much as possible and in every game, because once you don't draw it, you can't do anything. So I run 4. For more the OTK cards, yeah, there's only 3 for now. There will be a new Sword of the King Excalibur replica coming out, and more support, yeah, which I'll be doing soon when the set comes out. So Sword of the King Excalibur, I run 3. 10k 3 crit. When you have 10 or more hero in your drop zone and discard a Holy Grail, that's how you equip it, which is very easy because your Leviathan will mill 5, and just equipping him will give you another 2 gauge. So yeah, if this card is attacking alone, the attack of this card cannot be nullified by a shield in its card name, which means cards like Green Dragon Shield, Thunder Empire Shield, I think that's an Arc Dragon Shield, those kind of cards cannot be used to nullify him, which makes him sort of like a counter. So yeah, equipment change and double attack, 10k 3 crit, very strong. Hit down Autora very easily. Next off, I run 3 Immortal Sword of the King, Durandal. Yeah, it's my body, so I just run 3. Next off, I run 2 Den Slave Replica. This card is a really good card because first of all, his equip cost is beyond life. Ability Blood Sucking False King. When this card attacks and destroys your opponent monster or deals damage to your opponent, you can charge 1 gauge, gain 2 life, and you have 3 or more hero on your field, draw a card once per turn. He's a 1 crit, which makes him like like if you whack face 1 crit to your opponent, they will most probably not guard this because they'll be guarding other 3 crits. So if they are guarding it from preventing you to gain pluses, they are throwing out more resources. So I run 2, very strong card, 6k 1 crit. Next off I run 2 of this Room of the Sword King. So basically when you have this card Endure down on your field, your card is indestructible except from bounce, which is very annoying in this deck. Abilities of all heroes on your field cannot be nullified when you have this. All heroes on your field other than this card gets power plus 1000, making, I don't know, giving this deck a bit more extra power. And counter, choose a hero on your field other than this guy and pay on gauge rest this card if you do stand the chosen card. This means that you can either equip this guy, or no, you can stand this guy if your opponent nows it, or 3 crit for game. Next off I run 1 Arma's Replica. So basically if you have him on the field, pay on life, put this card into the drop, nullify the attack. I play 1 of him because I will open. If I go first, I will just equip him and yeah, I can nullify. For monsters, I run 3 Valkyrie All-Knowing Albedo. Albedo is a really strong card. When this card is discarded from your hand, charge 1 and draw 1. And all cards with great spell in its name cannot be nullified, which is not used in this deck because you cannot call monsters. Next off, I run 3 Skilled General Odysseus. If you have item equipped, it gets 3k, but it doesn't matter, and you may discard this card from your hand. If you have a hero item equipped, you can draw 1 card and gain a life. Really strong. More items I would run is 1 of this replica. So when this card attacks, if you have 2 or more hero on your field, you can charge 1 gauge. He's a really good card because let's say you have this, you can actually tap him, pay on gauge and stand this guy and attack for 2 crit to charge 1, which is basically makes it a free attack. And lastly 2 of this guy, because damage dealt to you other than by attacks are reduced by 1. It's a really good card against burn damage matches and Autora. It's a must to run 2 of him and side 2 others, and you can interchange to see what kind of matchup you're fighting against. And as for this, I play 1 of him because you do not want to deck out, because if you play the sustain game, if you have this, it's mandatory to charge and yeah, you may deck out. So let's go on with the remaining spell. For spells, I run defensive spells, Bloody Holy Grail. Bloody Holy Grail is a really good card. You mainly cast this card if you are building attack, counter, nullify the attack, then if you have an item equipped, put up to 1 hero other than Bloody Holy Grail from your drop in, add it to your hand. So this basically makes it so that you cannot cast then bring it back, and yeah, it's a loop. So what you can do in this deck is, because as you can see, this deck is not really that defensive. If you actually have 2 Bloody Holy Grail and 1 Holy Grail, in your drop you can cast to get back, and then cast Holy Grail and cast to get back again, and yeah, you can actually defend yourself, hopefully. But he's just there because it can help you toolbox for Hero World, which you can use from the next turn. Like let's say if you have a Albedo and you want to use it or get the Holy Grail so you can equip Excalibur. So next off, I run 2 Holy Grail. This card will be a 2-off because I do not want to equip Excalibur by paying the equip cost, because you usually want to go for the OTK and have it on your first turn already. But he's just there as a negate if you have a open center. So yeah. For more defensive spells, I run is for Great Spell and the Battle Phase guy. So you mainly cast this card at the end of the battle of your first opponent's turn. First battle of your opponent's turn. So call cost, pay 2 gauge, pay 2 life, the attack phase ends. So basically, if you are playing against Thunder Empire, once they attack with their globes and they pump the crit, you juke them and then you cast this and you end their attack phase. So I run 4. For defensive spells, I also run this guy, but he's also there for sideboard because for this turn you can give all of your items penetrate. This means that if you are playing against war decks such as Shadow Dragons, Chaos, when you attack them and penetrate, Chaos Drain actually does not prevent penetrate damage because their Gear God is still destroyed. So yeah, really good card. And counter, put an item from your drop into your field into the drop if you do game for life. So this means that cards which have already been used, like for example this guy, you can move him to drop to game for life in response to an attack or during the final phase. So you can prevent those daily attacks. Oh, oops. Next off, I run 4 hyper energy. So basically, if you have 2 hero on your field, you charge 4 gauge once per turn. Very solid card. He's a must play at 4 off because you want to see him as often when you start off the first game, because Levitating having the effect to 1 extra gauge for the core cost is very pain, and if you equip more you use a lot of resource, so I play 4. Next off, I run 2 Favor of the Sword Sage. So you can only cast it if you have a hero item equipped, pay on life, either discard a hero item from your hand, draw 2, or give all hero items on your field 7000 power. He's good. That second ability is good for matchup against Autora, but I think I do not run here at 4 because first of all he's a once per turn ability, and once per turn, and during Autora matchup you already have your Excalibur, which is 10k and can already hit. Next I'll run 3 Mariner's Advice. So it's the Bard Sling of the deck. You mainly cast this if you have a hero on your field. So look at the top 3 cards, 1 into the hand, 1 into the gauge, and 1 into the drop once per turn. I don't run 4 because as I said, it's a once per turn effect, and you do not want to see him after first turn because you most likely kill your opponent, but he's still really great. Can fetch him back up with Buddyfight. Next off, I run 2 Brevan Guard. Brevan Guard is a very important deck against matchups such as Thunder Empire, because when they throw their Loud Voice, all your cards such as Excalibur, Durandal, if they discard 3 cards, basically you can't hit them. And when you actually negate that spell, which so let's explain this. So pay 2 gauge, nullify the spell cast by your opponent or destroy a spell on your opponent field. That's his effect. And if you have Berserker, which I don't play, in your drop you may discard a card from your hand, pay 2 gauge. If you do, return this card from drop into your hand. But so basically about Loud Voice. So let's say your opponent has Loud Voice, he casts Loud Voice, he must pay the core cost of discard 3, and you do not actually cast it in response. When he casts first, you cannot just straight away call, because they will not discard 3 because they already know you will negate it. So you wait for them to throw their core cost first, then you negate. So yeah, you'll waste their resource. And even if you're not up against Thunder Empire, you can actually link your cards for game and give them the penetrate and actually go for game. So yeah. And lastly, I run more defensive spells. This guy, which is really clutch. So you mainly cast this if you have 4 or more different hero in your drop, which is very easy to pull off because most of the cards in this deck are actually hero. Core cost, pay 2 gauge and destroy all monsters and spells on the field. So what you can do in this deck is, because Durandal, his passive ability is your hero cards cannot be destroyed. When you cast him, all of your opponent's monsters and monsters and spells will be destroyed. So let's say you're playing against Thunder Empire, they have a Tomo Machine, they want to call a Globes, or they have a Globes already and they want to call Operative Sphere. You can actually cast this in response and you can bomb all your monster and spell. So yeah, so I run 2. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this deck perform on the latest Levitating deck which can build Levitating deck which can build from the latest set, Rainbow Striker. The deck list will be at the end of the video. I'll be doing an update on this deck after the latest set has come out. And yeah, stay tuned. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'm just gonna play here, signing off.